A shocking scene on another notorious stretch of road.
It is sad, very sad, this time of the year especially.
Emergency services arriving on scene just before 11 o'clock this morning to find there was nothing they could do to save the driver of this sedan, who was killed on impact.
It's an 80 km/h stretch of road and the crossroads. It's notorious. Accidents have happened here before, and it's unfortunately just one of those things.
Police say the man, believed to be in his 70s, was attempting to turn his sedan onto the highway from near Myers Road when it collided with a semi-trailer truck.
The trailer has rolled over, it's come apart from the prime mover. The driver's done very well to hold the prime mover up, otherwise it could have been maybe a two-person fatality.
While the male driver of the truck escaped unharmed, the high-speed crash did spark a large diesel spill clean-up. Motorists also suffering delays, with both eastbound lanes of the Warrego Highway remaining closed for several hours.
This is the third fatality on our region's roads in just 48 hours. Police say it's a tragic reminder for motorists to take care, especially in the lead up to Christmas.
As they all say, the old time's silly season. It's time to be careful.
Jasmine, Quarman, Win News.
Hands off Tara! Lock the gates! Hands off Tara!
It's the message which has echoed through the gates of the Tara gas fields for the past 5 weeks. But today more fuel was added to the fire when wildlife campaigner Bob Irwin joined local residents to stop mining company QGC from building a 16-kilometre coal seam gas pipeline through the town.
QGC are slowly but surely destroying this country around here. I've been out this morning and I had a look at some of the devastation and I was absolutely horrified.
He was joined by several other well-known Queenslanders, including Green spokeswoman Libby Connors and Queensland Party leader Aidan McClendon, who late last year tabled a motion in Parliament to put a halt on CSG mining projects until the environmental impacts were known.
And when it called for a divide, the 5 independents supported the Queensland Party's motion and the LNP sheepishly went across to the ALP. 2 parties are no longer listening.
While this fiery demonstration is certainly one way to make their voices heard, it could see protesters facing a hefty $50,000 fine.
The protesters say they're not intimidated by the threat of legal action and will continue fighting until a moratorium is placed on all CSG mining projects.
If you don't move off the roadway now, you will be arrested under the Police Powers and Responsibilities Act. The failing to comply with my direction.
After ignoring the instructions of police, both Bob Irwin and Libby Connors were arrested and have since been ordered to face the Chinchilla Magistrates Court in May. A spokesperson from QGC refused to comment on camera, but released a statement saying the company respects people's rights to protest and remains committed to engaging with local residents. Jasmine, Quarman, Win News.
Meanwhile, the Garden City is putting its best foot forward as visitors flock to Queen's Park for a feast of the region's finest drops and produce. Reporter Jasmine Quarman joins us from the Flower, Food and Wine Festival. And Jasmine, how's it looking down there?
Thanks, Sam. Well, it has been a very successful start to the festival, and with this beautiful weather, it's no surprise why huge crowds have turned out to grab the first taste of the region's finest food and wine. I can certainly see why it is a Carnival of Flowers favourite, and in fact they tell me it's the fastest growing event on the Carnival's program.
Feast your eyes, ears and taste buds on this. From an abundance of fine food and wine to spectacular floral displays and great cooking and gardening tips from none other than the best in the business. But don't be fooled into thinking this festival is just for the green thumbs.
There's been a lot of public interest outside of Toowoomba. People ringing up, making bookings, want to come here. I think it's going to see another record in Toowoomba.
As you thread your way through the festival, be sure to get your camera ready while keeping an eye out for this winning floral design.
We wanted a little bit of a exotic wedding canopy, so we put together some bits of ideas from all of us and we brought it all together today with some beautiful, beautiful flowers.
And while designers shake in their shears for the Ready Steady Snip challenge, guests will experience firsthand the tastes and textures of southeast Queensland country.
We've got a cooking demonstration going on with our local chef, Jason Janetsky from Platinum Restaurant, and he's showcasing 3 dishes today, and we're matching those with local wines.
So whether you're keen to step into the kitchen, talk with celebrity gardening gurus, or just simply soak up the sun, the options here are endless.
Of course, the event also features the Heritage Live concert series, and tonight we'll hear from Stonefield and the amazing Claire Bowditch. Now, there are plenty of other acts lined up, so make sure you head down to Queen's Park because there's certainly something for everyone.
Yes, Jasmine, that's for sure.
Good afternoon, updating Win News. An Aitkenvale family is mourning the loss of their 16-year-old son after he was hit by a car in Kelso on the weekend. Police have charged an 18-year-old man over the incident, and around 100 environmental health professionals have gathered in Townsville for a state conference. The response to Cyclone Yazi will drive discussion for the week-long event. That's tonight from 6. Good afternoon, updating Win News. A 23-year-old Newtown man has been arrested and charged with attempted armed robbery. Police allege Benjamin Young entered the Newtown bottle shop armed with a knife last week. And the Toowoomba Rugby League has banned one spectator indefinitely following the off-field dramas that spoiled the Newtown Gundawindi knockout semi-final last month. That's tonight from 6. Join us for the best hour of news in the country. Good evening, everyone. Well, the threat to far north Queensland posed by ex-tropical cyclone Grant has eased, and the Bureau says it's not expected to develop into a tropical cyclone. It will continue moving east towards the west coast of the Cape York Peninsula, but only as a monsoon low. However, a separate severe weather warning has been issued for areas north of Corumba to Cardwell, with the worst effects of the weather system being felt in Queensland tomorrow. Parts of the Cape York have already experienced their wettest December in years, with the heaviest falls this morning recorded in and around Weipa. So let's have a look at the rainfall figures over the past 24 hours. And Blue Mountain had 128 millimetres, 79 millimetres fell at Moranbah, Southwell had 64 millimetres and Bowen recorded 17. Now between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. today, Weipa had 23 millimetres, 14 millimetres fell at Moranbah, St Lawrence had 11 and 9 millimetres fell at Innisfail. Now turning to the day's temperatures across the state, and Cairns reached a top of 27 degrees. It dropped to 23 in Townsville. It ranged between 20 and 30 in Charters Towers, a top of 26 for Mackay, 23 to 29 in Rockhampton. Bundaberg also warmed up to 29 degrees, 21 to 27 on the Sunshine Coast, and it reached 25 degrees in Toowoomba. Taking a look at today's satellite image, and as you can see, there's extensive cloud over the tropics, which is associated with ex-tropical cyclone Grant and an active monsoon trough. An upper level trough is producing cloud over eastern parts of Queensland, and there is another one which is causing thunderstorms over the southern half of Western Australia. Low cloud can also be seen over southern Tasmania, eastern Victoria and eastern New South Wales, which is due to onshore flow. To synoptic chart now, an ex-tropical cyclone Grant is moving east across the Gulf of Carpentaria and will cross the west coast of Cape York Peninsula tomorrow morning. This will bring isolated showers over the northern and eastern parts of the state, with isolated thunderstorms developing over the southeast interior. A surface trough is also located near the southern tropical coast, while a high over the Great Australian Bight extends a ridge along the Queensland coast south of the trough. So tomorrow across the northern central Queensland district, expect areas of rain and isolated thunderstorms with moderate to heavy falls and light to moderate southeast to northeasterly winds, tending moderate to fresh late in the day. Across the Darling Downs, expect mostly fine conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms over western and northern parts and light to moderate east to northeasterly winds. For the Waibay, Burnett and Sunshine Coast, expect isolated showers also with developing over inland areas in the afternoon and light to moderate south to southeasterly winds fresh about the coast. And finally to the state summary, windy conditions tomorrow with heavy rain in the northeast tropics, showers and storms along the coast and ranges and mostly dry conditions in the far west. So that wraps up the weather for this evening. Now it's over to Paul.
Thank you, Jasmine.